Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Azzarra, and I'm a professional opera singer and voice teacher. And today I am reacting to, by special request from our community post, Dimash's newly released single, Your Love. And I would like to thank, I'm going to read a long list of names. I apologize if I pronounce anything wrong. Cicada Info, Oliver Alvarez, Verna Engelman, Bunsen Lee, Leah Muller, Stormy, George Him, Marie Josie Polzak, David Sanabria, Adriana, Home with S, G.O., Sylvia Reagan Stern, Jorge Hernandez, and Andy R. for suggesting Your Love. You have broken the cycle of chronology, and we are in 2020 with Dimash. I'll go backwards to 2018 and 2019, but it's going to be exciting to hear new Dimash, present day Dimash. Okay, so let's get started. As always, I am taking your suggestions, writing everything down, and whatever you recommend, we will get to it eventually. And like and subscribe. Okay.
I still remember us, were the times where we were when we were warm. Do you recall? Nothing was dangerous. We had the strength to leave our streams, to feed our souls.
So it's really interesting to hear him like this. I mean, he's sounding very broken. I can't quite understand what he's saying because he's so in such a soft place, and I'm also right next to a very busy city. But the vocal fry that he's using and the dropping off of phrases is really creating a nice atmosphere for the beginning of the song. I usually really cringe when I hear vocal fry, but his is not bothering me. He's not sitting on it. He's just sort of very gently resting and then moving past it, instead of just sitting down here like this. Ugh. Thank goodness.
Now what is left over this love is I the pain that I find against. What can I do to love again?
Doing that from such a low place without almost any vocal fry and so gently coming up, that's really, I mean, Kudaibergen is just like in heaven listening to him sing this.
Where do you live? What do you do at night? Do you still care? Do you still share memories? And when I sing, do you still hear my voice? Singing to you every note I can sing.
It's really interesting seeing, because the last video that I watched was Diva Dance from the 2017 Bastow concert, and what I'm seeing overall, you know, in the shift of 3 years, is that he seems much more comfortable, much more at ease with keeping a general sound going instead of fireworking through, you know, as many different colors as possible. It's possible to sing in different styles and still maintain similar colors throughout so that you maintain the sense of this is the same person singing. And I like hearing more of that core Dimash sound throughout, whether he's at the bottom of his range, singing with a very, very gentle mixed voice, or belting. It's really nice to hear similar colors throughout all of those different stylings. Yeah, let's keep going. And his English is like, I mean, it's always hard when you're singing in a language that is not your own, but it's really clear to see that he has vastly improved, and it's wonderful to hear.
Now what is left of all this love? A silent rain that bright rains. What can I do to love again and live again? So it's really nice to see him physically going down before that super high belt. Let's go back. Just watch, and he's moving dramatically for the performance, but he's moving in such a way that it's only enabling him to sing even better. And he does it again. It's such a healthy thing to do. When you drop down like that physically, like into a squat position while you're singing, it will release your ab muscle. Do a squat and try and tense your abs. It's not a natural physical reaction. So he's relaxing his abs and letting his diaphragm just do what it does naturally. I'm always telling my students, you can manipulate your diaphragm into ascending faster, or you can just keep an open position in your body, transfer energy elsewhere, and let your diaphragm do what it does best. Because I promise you, your diaphragm lowers and ascends all the time, 24/7, until you're dead. And it's better at ascending and descending than you are when you consciously try to manipulate it. So he's transferring energy elsewhere into his legs so that his diaphragm can just do its job. And, I wish more singers sang that way. That's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you, Dimash. Let's rewind it a little. Okay, those staccati, they're so clean. And it's not because he's an alien. It's because he's spent 1,000,000 years in a practice room achieving that. And I just listened to the Diva Dance, which is the first time, his Diva Dance. I've heard the song before, but it was the first time I had really heard just how crystal clear and perfectly in tune his staccato is. And it's not because he's an alien. It's because he has practiced and practiced and practiced, because that is just straight up muscle memory on such a tiny, tiny apparatus. Your vocal cords are so small. I gotta listen to it again. I know I keep rewinding. I'm sorry.
belt has gotten a lot more consistent for me. I've heard in the past, him having a belt that was a little bit more chest heavy, but also quite a lot more nasal. And then I've heard a belt that was incredibly round, which, while wildly impressive, is a hard color to maintain on a belt. And it's not the healthiest color to maintain on a belt. It's doable, but physically you're sort of like pushing against two opposite physical gestures. When you belt, you want a high laryngeal position and a wide smile. When you sing in a round head voice, you want a very oval position and a lowered larynx. So it's just kind of doing this to your voice when you belt with an incredibly dark sound. And now his belt sounds a lot more balanced. The color is even up and down. And I think that he's found a really perfect mix, one that's very impressive and beautiful, and also one that he can maintain for, decades. I really appreciate that even when he's on his knees, he's refusing to let his spine curve inward and let the floating ribs hit the diaphragm. It's so tempting to want to curl inwards when you're singing dramatically. And it's very tempting to want to aid your diaphragm in its ascension as you're singing these high belts. But he is refusing to let that happen. He's insisting that his diaphragm does its job, without any sort of physical manipulation or interference. And it's hard to do because you're kind of going against, even though you're letting something happen, it's so hard to let something happen naturally and not interfere with it, right? He's not letting his brain take over, thank goodness. Wow. The color was so perfect right on that end. Just even and clean. And it's not that he hasn't been even in the past, but I think that in the past he's been playing around with what he can do. Of course, I mean, that's what you do as an artist. You experiment, you see what works, you see what doesn't work, or you see what you like and what you don't like. You see what you're able to do sick. You see what you're able to do, touring and singing, in rehearsals 14 hours a day. And this to me sounds like somebody who knows not only exactly what his voice can do, but exactly what he wants his voice to do, if that makes sense, what he wants for a healthy voice. Still wildly impressive as always, but a very, very sophisticated performance and a very even performance, which I really like to see from him. And a beautiful song. Kretoi should just stop writing for anybody but him. And that's my opinion on that. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you found this video informational or helpful at all, please like and subscribe. There are more reactions and analysis coming. Please comment your suggestions below, and toi 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 until next time.